Oh, some chicken cooking there. It's cheap as buggery. What was it, 2 kilos? Oh, worked out about blooming $1.75 a kilo or something ridiculously low. In American terms, that'd be, geez, like $1.10 a kilo, which is probably 55 cents a pound, something like that. 50 cents a pound, I think. Yeah, about 50 cents a pound US. Pretty cheap. It was on the flipping last day, so, well, it's used by tomorrow, so I'm cooking it all right now. Just had a good feed of it. Pretty good stuff. The kitties are behaving themselves and not trying to jump in the pot. I tried that with Chinese boss, they might stay in the pot. Anyway, I've been farting around with this stupid thing here, and yeah, I think she's about stuffed. I mean, we've got, what, the water's just under halfway in the IBC, and it is battling to even get a head up to here. The head on it is supposed to be 1.6 metres, which, what's that, like 5 foot, I think, maybe a little bit more than 5 foot, and you know, it's battling the flame and even get it up just to here to give us a little trickle out the end there. I transferred some from this. That was actually originally right up in the top. It's now down there. I transferred that. Sure. Oh yeah, about 180 litres or something into the tank here. There's with the idea of sticking the submersible in and putting it up on the one up the top. Submersible just literally will not fit down the hole. So anyway, I think the little one's about stuffed. I tend to note I have another 12-volt water pump doing absolutely nothing, mounted on a piece of wood already on its own, with heavy cables on it, and all I need to do is just touch them with the big 90-watt soldering iron and take them off and resolder them onto something else. I've got a bit of brass pipe that I can stick them on and then just literally hook jumper leads onto them off my car battery. Like literally go and turn up with a car poking in here or something like that, or poking in here, and then bang bang, jumper leads on and off we go. I do have a set of jumper leads, but in all honesty they're corroded as shit, and yeah, I don't think they'd really work too well. They're ones I used way back, but anyway, yeah, the brass pipe idea might be a better idea. And then I'll just solder the power leads that I've got. It's actually extra solar panel cabling. Solder those leads onto the inside of the brass pipe, and then bang bang jumper leads on the outside of the brass pipe, and off we go. In case you're wondering what that's about, I got some just laying on the side of the road. I got some Avery mesh, and it was just there in a big tangle. But I think somebody's hit it with an angle grinder or something at one point, because you can see all bits of the wire that are shiny and a few bits is like cut through, and yeah, one of them had a pointy end, and surprising how much you bleed when you get cut there by a little stinking little piece of wire. Anyway, tomorrow I'm going to get serious and we're going to get this thing hooked up, and probably another half hour or so, and tomorrow I'll be off and away and we'll do a water fill up run. I don't really want to take probably basically 4 of these. I thought 3, but no, I'm thinking probably 4. So I've still got 2,000 litres here, and take another 4 of them away down to where I'll have this veggie patch. I want to get them all reasonably low, like this one, where you just got enough in there just to keep the wind from blowing the bastard away. Give it, about 200 pounds weight of water sitting in there, that'd be good enough to hold it there, sort of thing. So I want to try and get some of these down, and as I said, that one was full, and that there is now into that, and that's empty. So transfer some of this crap into that one, and ultimately basically refill this one and this one, and get all these down low, and when the time comes to move them, I'll just flick open a big tap at the bottom and just let them go, empty the water out, chuck them on the trailer and piss them off down there, at which point I may have to just get, 1,500 litres or so into that, fill that up just to be able to put a bit back into these to, give them a bit of weight and stop them from blowing away once they're in position way down there. Anyway, first I better get to and try and transfer the water that I've got, a small amount in that. It's probably only like a foot in the bottom, in that, up into there using the great big limit 1-inch line that I've got hooked to the submersible. Those of you who don't know, that's a Little Giant made in Ohio. Frickin' ripper. That one's a high temperature one. Can handle reasonably warm water. I think it's at least 60 degrees Celsius. Not real high temperature, but it's made to handle above and beyond your standardised one. I think goes to about 45, 50, and I think that one goes to about 70 or something degrees Celsius. Yeah, different rubber seals in them and all that, and they've got to be built to suit, but that's a hell of a pump, that. It's small and it's powerful and had a price tag to match, to be honest. But that's what you expect for decent stuff that's made in America, not flaming, Briggs and Stratton die-cast and plastic sort of made in America stuff. But I've got another one that, it's only a tiny little bastard. It's only probably about 6 inches long or something, stuck in that old camper there, that's full of firewood. The one I opened the door, showed you all the firewood, all the almond tree that I got cut up in there. There's one in there. It's probably seized to the shit house, but that's also a Little Giant. And it's only very small, but my uncle was given it by somebody, and I never really messed with it, but I might have to play with it at some point. I dare say it's sea solid. It looks like it's made in the bloody 80s, and I think a lot of the plastic's starting to go brittle, so mightn't even be worth worried about. But anyway, this son of a bitch here, fucking disappointment this was. They give you a handle which basically pops straight out, and it pops straight out, and the thing's still sitting. I mean, this is the handle that you're supposed to lift the bastard with, and I think it snaps straight off, basically, as I tried to lift it up with no real weight on the thing, And as the handle snaps, you drop down into the bottom of the IBC. Now, this has fallen back into a plastic IBC. It cracked the fucking plastic. I mean, what a fucking joke. They told me at the store, the first one I got, this piece here, that is screwed onto a threaded piece inside there, obviously. That threaded piece there, they never built this strong enough inside with any real reinforcement. And I'm not joking, literally half the ones they got in the shop, they'd opened the box. This is what they told me, because this is what happened to my first one. I had one of these originally, got it home and went straight back, because the bastard was cracked right through there. That's right, your outlet was cracked off of your main casing, because it's not a separate piece. This is all the one plastic casting right up until that bit, including that bit there, and literally half of the ones they had bought in, they'd cracked off already in the box. And I had one of those, and I thought, oh, here we go, they're going to argue the toss that I dropped it or something, and they said, oh no, we've had this literally with half of them. They swapped it over, And he said, well, hang on, before you go, let's open the flaming box of the one you got now. So they did that, and it wasn't cracked, and that was this one. But in all of this, before all that bullshit happened, the friggin' lead in this thing all stuffed up. And so you got to hold the damn thing. It was sort of like that. I had to jam it up there, or sort of in like that or something, just for the wires to connect which are broken inside there. This is supposed to be a good brand, and I'll tell you what. Oh, there's another one that started cracking. This is supposed to be a good brand, I'll tell you what, it's a piece of shit. And I've got one of those in the stainless steel, and I think the impeller is cast, might even be cast iron or something. I know the impeller's cast, and I think the very bottom is plastic, but the outer housing is stainless steel, and that's the one in that tank. And that one is, holy smoke, about 10 years older than that little plastic one I just showed you there, the yellow one. And it's still alive and well. My father used it for years, and then he gave it to me, and it's now in this one. So, if you do get a Davey, make sure you get one of the ones with the stainless steel outside, not the plastic outside, because they're just a frickin' nightmare. Never built right. They may be better now, but they've burnt me, and to be quite honest, I don't think I'll ever buy a Davey after my experience of that bloody little piece of crap. I mean, how can they make it so that the damn wires off the float break on you with, what, you know. I didn't get much use at all out of that thing, to be honest. It was from go to woe would have been about 9 months, and in that time I probably used it for water carting day about like 4 times or something like that. Yeah, not very good. Well, ever since I've had this up here, when the weight of the water starts filling up the hose, it'll just slip out backwards. So I've usually had to use string, and I've just realised after all this time something that's just so obvious. The lid jams nicely in there, and if the pipe was to slip back, it would just jam even tighter. Improvisation, eh? Alrighty, well, I've been doing a lot of water carting. There's another guy there with a little trailer carting a bit of stuff as well. Turned up for my last load, and there's other guys there who I've seen on occasion as I've been, you know, just driving through the town previously, and yeah, he's got this old Kenworth that, holy smoke, it looks like it's ready for scrap metal. It's, you know, a lot of paint missing, faded paint. The roof is covered in lichen. Usually he leaves it idling. This time it wasn't, probably because it would have overheated if you had done that. Don't know why he always leaves it idling. It might have a shit battery or something, or an alternator that doesn't work, but he would have had to sort that out today anyway. Honestly, it would be about a 1966 model or something like that, possibly even earlier. It just looks so old, it's unbelievable. But on the back of that, he's got a big tank, big steel tank. It's not even painted. The thing's a bare rust colour outside, but I think it's about 10,000 litres. And it's actually so tall that he's got to take the normal fitting off the standpipe, which is like a bit of canvas pipe that hangs down. He's got to undo that, take the hose clamp off for that, hook another hose line onto it, because the inlet for his tank is higher than the bloody standpipe is. So anyway, I went down there and he'd already hooked on, and doing a bit of quick maths, it takes me probably about 23 minutes. Whoa! Oh, fucking cow. Shit down everywhere. Shit. I don't know if you've seen that. That was a bit of a frickin' tornado attempt or something there. Shit. That was fucking crazy. Ugh. Yeah. He's still alright, so that's good. That was bizarre. Anyway, takes me about 23 minutes or something to get 1,500 litres. Now you do a bit of quick maths, you know, 23 to maybe, probably not 25, probably about 23 minutes. It's an hour to do each run, to empty out and to refill, and it takes me half an hour to pump out. So including travel times, probably 23 minutes to fill 1,500 litres. Now he's doing 10,000. And I thought to myself after a while, do you want to sit here for 2.5 hours to wait till it finishes? And I thought, nah, fuck this. so I just went to the shop and got a half-gallon thing of Coke, not high fructose corn syrup, they got real sugar in it. And I thought, oh well, that's it for the day, I'll come back tomorrow and get my last load. It's a bit of a bum, I'm on my last load, and then I'm going to either have to wait 2.5 hours, or it's 3:15 already, and I might as well just forget it and leave it till tomorrow. And anyway, while I was pumping water, I managed to vacuum the floor in here. I managed to water my trees, like hand water them with watering can. And stuffed around watching a few YouTube videos and whatnot. And had lunch and didn't flame and lose a single minute in all of that, because I got it so well timed in how long it takes to pump it and all that. And of course I'll watch it go down the last 5 minutes. So yeah, starting to cool down a bit. The old ventilation fan in the ceiling is brilliant. I'm hanging around with some dodgy Afghans, bettering the Terra hotline. Now these are New Zealand made. Bloody good. $2 a packet is what it cost me anyway. And sometimes this place I get some of these biscuits from and whatnot, it's a bit hit and miss with these grey imports or the dumped stock. Some of it tastes like shit, and some of it's good, and this stuff is flipping brilliant. That's about $1.40 US for a packet of that, and I mean they are lathered up with chocolate like they look in there. Also got these ones, and oh look, the cat's moving in all of a sudden. Where do you come from? Where do you come from, Bucky? And yeah, these are British ones. Get your nose out of it. Cats don't eat chocolate biscuits. Well, they're not anyway. You're not having any. And yeah, they were, as you can see, made in the UK. I don't know how well you can see that. They're British made. They were 75 cents a pack, which is, holy cow, 45 cents US a pack. And I've got a heap of them. I've got about, I don't know, 8 or so packs, 8 or 10 packs. Let's have a look at my other run here. Now the wind might be blowing on this. This is what I got from my normal grocery joint. You see the top words there? Price reduction. Now look how many things I got under price reduction. The only thing I didn't were the packets of eggs. Yeah, 2 packets of eggs, 2 bread, and a bok choy. Everything else I got on price reduction. That's, well, there you go, 11 different things. And see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different things I got on a price reduction. So there you go. That's basically half of everything I get is on a price reduction. So, and that's pretty typical with me to go in get greens, and of course any on the cheap if I can find any, and then eggs, bread, and then a whole heap of stuff that's price reduced. And that's pretty much the way I roll. You should be able to get a vast majority of your stuff price reduced. And yeah, people always sort of, bitch and wail they can't save money, blah blah blah, and yet they go in and they pick out the exact specific products they want, the specific branded. I go in there, get a few basics, and then what I end up having in terms of, nice food is pretty much just whatever the hell's on special that week. And you never know what you're going to get, and each time it's different. And, you save a lot of money in the process, but everybody's all, oh, I can't save money, but then, you get the wrong brand of Strasbourg and they'll crack a shit fit because they like this brand specifically, and it's like, well, shit, no wonder you're not saving. You'd never pick up anything that's discounted at all, And I tell you what, all these three brands, I mean, they were discounted in half of what they originally were, even though they're dump stock. Cheap as dirt, and yet they all taste good. None of them are duds. And it's a bit hit and miss, that place, but all 3 packets of those are frickin' brilliant, They're better than the flippin' generic ones that, I sometimes get, and quite honestly, they're as cheap, if not cheaper. Just had to show these. No, it's actually Trolli. They're a mod that makes quite a few different kinds of lollies, and I saw that there and I just thought, fantastic. So don't be surprised if you see somebody with a thumbnail that looks like that. The drones are coming! The drones are coming! Anyway, that clobber off. I've been charging this today, so we're going to go down and rain some hell on the whole show. Flippin' ripper, little machine. I'm glad the battery recharge is a bit worried. It's a little shitbox. 6 volt, 4 amp hour or 4.5 amp hour or something like that. Same troublesome little shits I had with the Coleman hot water system originally. But this one, after a fair while, it seemed to take a charge. I don't know how soggy the battery is or isn't, but I suppose we will find out before too long. It's blown a little bit, which isn't the best, but this has quite a powerful spray. It's decently long lance. It's got a lot of sticky shit on it, which is why I wear gloves using it. It's sort of leftover stuff from the spray, basically. And yeah, a lot better than the ones you got to pump by hand. This is a unfortunate but necessary sort of scenario to go playing around with a whole heap of this sort of crap, but it's just what you got to do to realistically kill boxthorn. There is no realistic way to piss around with it any other way and think you're going to get anywhere, because it just keeps coming back. There's a great heap of it that's come back, but it's all sort of, I've chopped off the bulk of it and it's only a few branches, a bit of the trunk coming out of the ground that's re-sprouted. With some of them, with others that I didn't actually cut down and burn, or some that I burnt half of but not the whole lot. have sort of come back, so I'm going to go down and give her a blast. All that rattling you can hear is actually the roof sheets. Typical old polycarbonate roof sheets.